Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Tasmanians are set to be slapped with skyrocketing power bills, paying almost 12% extra from July 1. It comes as much of the country faces uncertainty in the national grid, but the state government promises the lights won't go out for Tasmanian families this winter.
It's the coldest time of year, but power prices are set to surge. The economic regulator approving an 11.88% increase for Tasmanian households from July 1 at the request of Aurora Energy.
The reason behind the increase is predominantly the increase that we have seen in the cost of electricity generated in the national electricity market.
The bill shock means concession holders will pay an additional $143 per year, while those not on concessions will be slugged another $227 or $4.37 extra per week. Labor says it couldn't come at a worse time as Tasmanians face a cost of living crisis.
That goes together with $450 over 4 years for TasWater. That goes together with higher rates, goes together with higher mortgage payments. This is going to hurt every Tasmanian family. The
state government has offered up some immediate relief for families and small businesses, budgeting a $17 million winter assistance package, including a $180 discount and no charge for the Aurora Plus app.
It's a very challenging time. That's why we've responded as a government to provide targeted support to those most in need.
But the Energy Minister has been slammed for backing out of last year's election promise to de-link from the national energy market, and Labor says Tasmanians are now paying the price.
Prices have gone up astronomically because this government didn't do its job. It didn't deal with its election promise to keep power prices lower for Tasmanian families.
An exit would be very damaging to jobs, growth, development, and ultimately it would have an impact on our electricity prices as well.
This power price hike follows days of uncertainty in the national market, with other parts of the country facing potential power interruptions. But the state government says Tasmania's energy security remains intact.
It's fair to say, unlike other jurisdictions, it highlights the importance of our renewable energy credentials with hydro and wind.
For those wanting to shop around, there is one piece of advice.
There are market offers out there, and of course consumers should always look around to see if they can get better offers.
Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Some residents in the north will likely be without power until Monday night, with overhead line damage posing a significant challenge for TasNetwork crews in Sheffield. 350 customers across the state were still off the grid today, but most of those homes should have power back on by 8 o'clock tonight. 20 separate outages are still being addressed, with a particular focus on Erebor, Elliot and Beulah today. Tasmanians searching for snow are being urged to think responsibly before making a trek up the iconic Kanani Mount Wellington. A number of recent rescues has prompted the safety message as the city's council works to clear the area.
A winter wonderland for travellers in search of their very first glimpse of snow.
I love it.
Yeah, we thought it would be soft, but we've
It's very misleading. You know, the movies, I think, painted a different picture, but it's absolutely incredible. I love it.
But an innocent trip to the state's most prominent mountain comes with a caution, as authorities continue to see negligent behaviour.
Treat it like an adventure into the wilderness. It's not just going into South Hobart, it's a different world altogether.
Last weekend's generous dumping of snow and high wind gusts saw 9 people get into trouble while enjoying the landscape.
If they hadn't had an operating mobile phone, a number of those people, perhaps even more, would have perished.
The effort to clear closed roads to the top of the mountain is still underway, with Hobart City Council fully equipped for the job.
Normal events, you know, it's not too bad, a day or so to clear. But these big events, really, we need something like, what other capital city in Australia has a snowblower.
Conditions on the summit have remained at sub-zero temperatures all week, and walkers are being warned Tasmania's weather can be deadly if you're not well prepared.
I've seen temperatures drop 10 degrees in a matter of minutes.
The community being urged to rug up to avoid the worst case scenario for emergency services.
If you do make a bad decision, don't continue to persist, turn around and go back.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
A Tasmanian woman has been found guilty of 2 counts of negligent driving causing death, which claimed the life of a man and his young daughter in Huntingfield 2 years ago. Christine Chatterton stood in the Hobart Magistrates Court as the verdict was handed down. The bus driver will reappear to be sentenced on July 26. Tasmania's top advocate for children has told the Commission of Inquiry multiple state departments ruined a young man's life when he entered the out-of-home care system and later youth detention.
Multiple systems in Tasmania collectively worked together to destroy his life. And on every measure of well-being, that will have an ongoing cost to Tasmania.
The inquiry will examine allegations of wrongdoing in the state's health system, especially at the Launceston General Hospital, when hearings resume later this month. Tasmania has recorded its 84th COVID death. 2 females, one from the state's northwest and one in the south, have passed away. Both were aged in their 80s. 800 new cases were also recorded, with more than 4,200 active cases in the state. 30 people remain in hospital with COVID, 13 of those being treated specifically for it. Travellers looking to sail across Bass Strait will face lengthy delays as tourism ramps up in the state. But a solution is already a work in progress, with a local business contracted to help with the fit-out of new ships.
Setting sail on the Spirit of Tasmania proving difficult for some.
We're very busy at the moment. We have a space limitation at the moment for caravans, camper vans, and we review this every week in relation to any more sailings that we could put on.
With a simple solution.
We need bigger ships.
The fix already underway in Finland, with RMC shipbuilders working to construct 2 new vessels. They've contracted local steel fabricators Haywoods to convert 40 tonnes into lashing points. It'll be a new system forming part of the locking component to secure freight trailers as they take on the treacherous Bass Strait.
That's just over 300 points, lashing points, and as I say, it'll be production line type work which will be able to produce those reasonably quickly to maintain the program.
The $500,000 contract is expected to take 4 months to complete, with the lashes to be sent to Finland in batches. The contract is one of many to come. The state government has already promised $100 million to local suppliers to help fit out the new ships.
This is a big sign of Tasmanian advanced manufacturing playing a role in building our ships. So I'm really pleased Tasmanians are going to help build our new ships.
Despite a month-long setback, the new ships are expected to be delivered by the end of 2024.
Ukraine situation and the steel situation has put a lot of pressure, but we're really pleased to see that the first quarter of 24 for that first vessel and the fourth quarter of 24 for that second vessel is really staying on track. We cannot wait to see more and more of that Tasmanian content arriving in Finland.
Let's hope it's smooth sailing from here. Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmanian News.
A 12-month dining trial will soon be rolled out, providing a much-needed boost to the North's hospitality industry. 2 Launceston businesses are taking part in the outdoor dining deck program, allowing venues to expand while livening up the city centre.
It's all hands on deck for 2 local Launceston hospitality hotspots following the announcement of a 12-month dining trial.
There's been the expression of interest process for getting some outdoor dining around different locations in our city. This is thankfully a result of $50,000 from the state government.
Inside Cafe and Schnitty Bar are the 2 successful businesses taking part in the program. The venues will be decked out with new dining areas located on the street.
This is huge for local businesses. They've been asking for this increased capacity since COVID hit, and that fear of not being able to use all of their space, being able to utilise a little extra really goes a long way.
The trial has received a warm welcome from business owners.
It means a hell of a lot to us, not only to allow extra customers to dine at our cafe, but
also to give the street some exposure.
Through the summer period especially, we're quite a busy place and a lot of tourists next door come over, and we do turn a lot of people away. So that extra seating, it means a lot actually, yeah. Probably a lot more than what you could really say.
The portable outdoor dining deck will seat upwards of a dozen extra customers while adding vibrancy to the streets. The success of the trial will determine whether other businesses will be able to jump on board in a year's time.
By adding these in, it just is that perfect stepping stone to adding more exciting initiatives into the city.
It's really about seeing, as a trial, whether this can be successful so we can do it in more locations throughout the city in the long term.
Locals will be able to enjoy the new additions by September. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Celebrations are in order as 22 new police officers see to the end of their training. Graduating today, they have the weekend to rest up before scattering out across the state stations.
Marching out of the police academy and into the state's streets, these bright-eyed constables have come from different corners of life to reach the same milestone.
By career, I've been a salesperson for many a year. Started as a teacher assistant at a high school up in Launceston.
Their sleek uniforms concealing 33 weeks worth of rigorous training that push their mental and physical capabilities to the limits.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But here I am.
You definitely grow and evolve as a person through those.
From strangers to family, the recruits relied on one another to see it through the system.
One of the most outstanding groups that we've put through.
Melanie Wright receiving this year's Ducks Award for her outstanding efforts.
A lot of us are pretty nervous to head out into the big wide world, but we've had really good instructors along the way.
After 7 months training as a team, the new constables will go their separate ways on Monday, starting their new careers at stations in Bellerive, Burnie, Bridgewater, Hobart and Launceston.
Just the friendships we've made and basically the grind to get here is all worth it now.
And while it's one door open for Tasmania's next fleet of first responders, it's another closed for Commissioner Darren Hine, who, in the lead up to his retirement, marked his final duties at graduation proceedings. Hine has officiated 36 ceremonies over 42 years, swearing in 647 new officers, almost half of Tasmania's current police force.
I wish you well in your new career and trust that you'll find it as rewarding as I have.
Tasmania Police now has a tough task ahead to fill the Commissioner's shoes as he leaves behind a lasting legacy. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Dark Mofo enthusiasts can step into an alternative world in a new exhibit featuring life-sized apes. The anthropoid display plays with a range of hypotheticals. Its meaning left up to the public to determine.
Maybe this is like the reverse cycle of when humans have disappeared after what we've done to the planet.
Croswell says he drew inspiration from a range of movies, including Planet of the Apes, as well as his own vulnerability to the world.
In State League footy, Lauderdale concedes players got ahead of themselves after toppling the Blues in round 7. The Southern Bombers sit 5th on the ladder but take on the winless Glenorchy this week.
I'm guilty of that, possibly myself. Probably wasn't hard enough on the group through that period.
Another tough ask for North Hobart taking on Clarence, but the club's far from down and out.
Our internal growth has been huge. So although where we sit on the ladder, isn't great, we're still really positive.
While Kingborough expects a close contest against North Launceston.
Some of the statistical categories we ranked very similar, and in those important ones like contested footy, clearances.
Unfortunately, we lose Michael Stingle. He played with North Melbourne on the weekend, but he's aggravated his quad again, so he'll miss this week.
And North will be missing 3 more players selected for the under-18 Allies taking on South Australia. Jack Jumpers fans are suffering from broken hearts. The Ant Army's talisman Josh Adams has announced he's parting ways with the club after a sensational finals campaign which made him the hottest ticket in the league. He isn't the only player the Jack Jumpers have struggled to hold on to. Mikhail McIntosh is also heading off. Their new clubs are yet to be revealed. After a week off the field, the NPL and Women's Super League are getting back amongst the action. The Glenorchy Knights will take to the pitch without their full side as a number of players fall victim to the flu. They'll go head-to-head with third place South Hobart in round 10.
I would have thought that we're still able to cause some headaches and have patches through a game where we play with control and we really look to make it difficult for South Hobart.
Meanwhile, South Hobart's women's side is striving to stay second on the ladder as they face off against Taroona.
They kind of surprised us when they held off Lonnie for 70 minutes, so I think we got to make sure we're at our top game.
Each side will of course be hunting for a win to firm up their ladder positions ahead of finals in September. And with Australia making it to another World Cup this week, tonight's Friday Flashback is taking a look at the round ball game. Tasmania has produced a handful of the game's heroes, while nationally 2 Socceroos moments stand out on the global stage. Over generations, the World Game has dug rich roots into the Apple Isle. Clubs like the Olympia Warriors have become powerhouses of the sport. The Northwest can lay claim to being one of soccer's most fertile breeding grounds, like it is for Aussie rules. While Launceston Juventus holds the honour of being the first team to win a game at Prospect under lights in 1995.
Bigger opportunities for kids coming through and for the senior players.
One kid who leapt from Launceston to great heights was goalkeeper Simon Miotto, rising from Riverside Olympic to the game's heartland in Europe.
Australians have a very good reputation overseas at the moment, but all it gets down to how well I catch the ball.
Hobart's Dominic Longo was Tasmania's Socceroo of the 90s, while English expat Mike Denton became a Burnie champion and was part of the side's big breakout in the 70s.
Just to be part of that, be part of the first Australian team to win a game in Europe was just a huge moment.
But when it comes to Socceroos moments captured on camera, 2 stand out. The first in 2003.
Harry Kewell! It gets better and better for Australia.
Coming up against superstar David Beckham and a young Wayne Rooney in his first international game, Australia caused the unthinkable, defeating the mother country 3-1 in one of world sport's greatest upsets, giving the tabloids a field day.
This tonight, I think, the ultimate humiliation.
The other moment needs no introduction.
He scored! Australia have done it!
Ending a 3-decade World Cup drought sent Naughty's Australia into raptures.
Whether they were playing along in Melbourne or hooning along in Brisbane.
It was the one that they want.
Oh, fantastic. Best game I've ever seen.
Best game ever.
You guys are awesome.
We go to Germany, we're going to win the World Cup, watch out!
Maybe we will in Qatar. A big night in Brisbane for those boys, Kim.
Definitely. What great moments. Thanks very much, Tom.
Good evening. Tunnock our low last night with -1, while King Island our top with 16 today. Hobart 11, Launceston and Burnie 14, Devonport 13 degrees. Maximum temperatures within a couple of degrees of average. Smithton and St Helens 15, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 14, Low Head and Strawn 13, Ooze 11 and Grove 9. Cloud associated with the cold front crossed the state today. High thinner cloud over the northeast of Tasmania. Best rainfall 7 millimetres at Cape Sorel. A stronger cold front with active thunderstorms is to the south of WA. Low cloud covers much of the southeast of the continent. Tomorrow a high deepens to our southeast, extending a broad ridge over the mainland. A cold front moves over Western Australia. Variable winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east northeasterly during the day and reaching up to 20 knots later over the southeast, but nothing to warn you about. Tomorrow for Hobart, a shower or 2 clearing and 13 the high, 11 the top for Maydena and Oatlands with a few showers about. Launceston a shower or 2 and 14, same for Devonport. Lyowini a morning frost, a shower later, a high of 6 degrees. 13 for Burnie with a shower or 2, Strawn the same and 13 also for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a shower or 2 and 14 degrees, 14 for Swansea, 13 the top for Orford. On Sunday, a shower over the north and east, mainly fine but partly cloudy in Hobart and Strawn. The chance of another shower over the north on Monday as gusty northeasterlies develop, and on Tuesday showers extending across the state with wind shifting northwest to northerly. Showers and 18 in store for Perth, a sunny 18 in Adelaide, Melbourne partly cloudy and 15 degrees tomorrow. A shower for Sydney, fine and 23 in Brisbane. And here are the current conditions. And Kim, I wish you a very nice weekend. I know Tom Johnson's going to the Winter Feast, but he's not turning up until after 9 o'clock, so he doesn't have to pay the $20 entry fee.
If you're on his wage, Murph, you would understand. That is all your news for now. We're back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.